In this video, I'll be explaining what to expect after an emotion code session with us at Core Healing. So in the session, when we release a trapped emotion, that emotion is released immediately. So that energy ball is gone from your body. But you may find it takes some time for the body to process that energy release, and your body needs to find a new balance. So this can take anywhere from 1 to 3 days, and we call this processing time. So at the end of the session, we give you your processing time that's specific for your body's needs. So this will be the time that it'll take your body to adjust to find its new balance. So in this processing time, you may experience some processing symptoms. So these can be things like feeling emotionally up and down. You could feel irritable or sensitive. You could have echoes of the emotions released. So what I mean by that is, in your session, for example, if you release a trapped emotion of frustration, during your processing time or over the next few days, you might find that you feel frustrated more easily than you normally would. So for example, I had just the other day, I was in the kitchen unpacking the dishwasher and I felt like I wanted to cry. So I had no logical reason to feel this way. And as I was unpacking the dishwasher, I ended up smashing a bowl and I started crying. And I'd done a session on myself earlier that day and I went back through the notes and I had released a trapped emotion of crying. So when I was unpacking the dishwasher, that's why I was feeling that way. So at the time, logically, I shouldn't have felt that way because I was unpacking the dishwasher, but I had released that emotion on myself in an earlier session. You may also feel fatigued. You might have vivid or bad dreams. You could have changes in your sleep patterns. So you may find that you experience some sleeplessness. So you might have trouble going to sleep, and you may experience some brain fog. But most of the time, these processing symptoms are mild and isn't really noticed at all. So about 20% of people experience processing symptoms. So this just depends on the person. So myself, for example, I experience processing symptoms every now and then. It just depends on what's being released in the session, the intensity of the emotion. And our other practitioner, Matt, he very rarely experiences processing symptoms. So you may not experience any processing symptoms at all. You may even feel great, but it's just good to be aware that this could happen. So after relief, some people may feel lighter. They may feel more positive. They may feel calmness and more joy. If we're focusing on a physical pain in the session, some people may feel a noticeable difference in the pain level as the session goes on or a few hours after the session. Sometimes you might feel relief, like the problem's gone for a few days and you feel good, but then it comes back. And that's your subconscious showing you that there's more to work on. So your body's giving you a bit of insight on how it can feel once this emotional baggage is released. And it's showing you that there's more around this issue we need to release. So it's kind of like the onion analogy. When you take off that first layer, we've peeled off that emotional baggage, the next layers come to the surface. So that's the next layer that we need to focus on that needs clearing. So why do some people experience processing symptoms? Well, here's an analogy we like to use to explain this. So doing the emotion code is kind of like doing surgery on the energy body. So it's not painful like surgery can be, but we're literally looking for harmful energies that need to be removed from your energy body. So after their removal, the energy body has to recover and it needs to restore to its new balance. So if you actually had surgery, so say if you're having surgery to remove a tumour, you would expect for a few days to have some downtime after to rest and recover. So your surgeon would likely tell you that in your recovery to make sure you look after yourself and recommend some extra rest. And after an emotion code session, we recommend that you drink plenty of water. I find that if I don't keep hydrated after the session, I will often end up with a headache. So it's really important to stay hydrated. It's also important to eat healthy, nourishing foods to support your body and also get lots of rest. So listen to what your body needs. So noticing a difference. If we're focusing on a physical pain or discomfort, this can be more noticeable in a session, and often people notice a difference with the energy release. So as we're releasing the trapped emotion, they notice a difference. Sometimes they'll notice it more reflecting on their day. So they might be at work and they're doing their usual things at work, and then they think, oh, this hasn't bugged me as much as it normally does. So some people, when we're working on more of an emotional or mental issue, this is something that we tend to notice more over time. So when we're reflecting back on situations. So when situations come up and you think, oh, I didn't respond how I normally do in that situation, or something comes up and you surprise yourself with your response. Or you may find that other people, so family members or people that you're in close contact with, they notice the difference. So will I still feel negative emotions after my emotion code session? Yes, you will, because that's how we experience and interpret life. So our emotions give us our highs and lows, but you won't have those negative emotions to fall back on. So what I mean by that is when we release these emotions from our body, so if we're filled with anger and you have a lot of anger stored in your body, when we release that, when new situations come up, you don't have that emotional resonance of anger to fall back on. So you have more control over how you choose to respond and your emotions. So when a situation comes up, instead of jumping into feeling that anger straight away, you have more control over how you respond. So it's really empowering stuff. So we will touch base with you a few days after your session just to check how you're going. And remember, if you have any questions about anything that came up in your session, please don't hesitate to contact us at our email there, info@corehealing.com.au, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.